Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and lots to get through. Look, I wake up this morning, I'm feeling tired, I'm sure we all are, and it's not just because I didn't get much sleep, it's because I'm tired in relation to Manchester United. I can't understand how we're out of the FA Cup. I think as an individualistic performance, you probably would say that we should have won that game, and we've got to look at that individually, of course, as well. But I think that there's far bigger questions. This is something we've been predicting for weeks, and you know what? The thing that makes me most tired is that we're fans. We're fans of this football club that we love. Tomorrow is a big day in our history because it's the anniversary of Munich, and you know, nothing could put it into more stark reality that we are miles away from what Manchester United's all about. Tomorrow we will, see that what this great club is all about. You know, the Munich tragedy and everything that came before and after that binds us to what this fantastic, historic football club is all about. But we're not that football club at the moment. We're really not. And It's out of control, it's an embarrassment, and it's being run by people who shouldn't be anywhere near it. I would love somebody to find a way to get control of that football club and put it back, not necessarily in the hands of the fans. You know, there are good owners out there who don't need fan influence, but it just needs a vision that's about on the football pitch. And you know what? It's not even saying it for effect. I'm not going to start ranting and raving. We are in the wrong hands, and it's very clear. I mean, look, Ralf Rangnick last night speaks after the game. I don't think Rangnick put a foot wrong last night. I thought he made the subs he had to make because he only had those subs. I thought the team should have won it 3 or 4-0. We did beat West Ham last time. I think Rangnick's doing his best with what he's got. And what he's got is players that act like spoilt children and a board that just do not know what they're doing and stab him in the back and go behind his back. I mean, I sort of went to bed and didn't pay massive attention to it. But if I'm running a restaurant tonight and I'm short of staff and I'm booked out, and there's loads of people watching, you know, loads of people are coming, it's big events, and I've got to deliver really good food, and people have got to be giving us 5-star on TripAdvisor, and I'm short on staff, and somebody says, I can't come into work because I need to clear my head, and then I find out the day before that I've apparently said they can have the time off, and they don't need to clear their head, and they're ready to give 100%, and then I'm like, well, it's too late for me to talk about that now, I've got to get on with service, and then after service, it's a bloody nightmare night, because I haven't got what I need, and then somebody goes, oh, I gave him the night off. Who are you to give him the fucking night off? You know, and this is what we've just seen with Manchester United last night. Ralf Rangnick comes out after the game and says, why would I give Lingard 4 or 5 days off when, you know, I'm having to put 2 goalkeepers on the bench? So Rangnick basically, you know, Lingard says, oh, I don't need to sort my head out. It's personal reasons, and I was told to take the days off. Rangnick says, no, I didn't give you the time off. Why would I do that? And then we hear that Murtar, the director of football, has given Lingard the time off. I mean, this is Manchester United, everybody. This is Manchester United, who on their Excel spreadsheets won't miss a penny, but they'll forget to tell the manager why Lingard's not there. I mean, he is out of control, Rangnick. He has got no control. It's not even his fault. I want a midfielder. You're not having it. I want Lingard to be sold. No. I want Lingard to play on Friday night. No. We've given him some time off. Murta's bloody useless. I cannot get on board with these fans who think Murta's good. Like, they think he's good. I don't. I never wanted him as director of football. I didn't want Fletcher as technical director. I don't want Arnold as CEO. They're all cut from the same cloth. And apart from Fletcher, to be fair, let's leave him out. Murta's been there for years. He's telling Lingard, apparently, that Lingard can have a few days off when we're going out the FA Cup. We went out the FA Cup last night because we missed chances. There's a bigger picture. But I tell you what, that, you know, Jesse Lingard against bloody Middlesbrough on for 20 minutes, he might just have finished one of those chances and then we're going through. So, look, it's not a massive jump to say that why the fuck is Lingard off for 4 or 5 days? Now, he might have personal issues and I'm sure they'll come out because, you know, at the end of the day, everyone's spinning a brand and that's what it's all about. But you're a Manchester United footballer. Would he have played for Newcastle this weekend if he'd have got the move? Or whenever Newcastle's next game is? And I think we all know the answer for that. It just frustrates me because the bias, spin and bullshit around that club, it's tiring and everybody's out for themselves. There's no respect, there is no leadership. We are just a shell, a theme park franchise shell created to make money for the Glazers. And all Arnold is, and all Woodward was, and all Murtar is, and all anybody on that board is, they're facilitators of the Glazers. That is what they are. They can use their journalists to spin positives. Our season is over. We're going to be get your lips around this. We are going to be at least 10 years between titles. We last won a title in May 2013. We're not winning this title, so the next title available for us is May 2023, which we're not going to win anyway. So a decade without a title, and more importantly, a decade without a title race, and at least 5.5 years without any trophy, because the last trophy we won was May 2017. We're not winning a trophy this year, so the next one that's possible is February 2023 in the Carabao Cup. So we're 5.5 years without a trophy and 10 years without a title race. And these people are still telling you what to do. God, I ain't ranting and raving. It is what it is. I've said this for weeks. A lot of you agree. I am sick and tired of it. Sick and tired. I'm not going anywhere. No United fan should be going anywhere. That's not support. These people who say I've had enough of United, I'm not going to support them anymore. What are you going to do tomorrow when you see the memorial for Munich? Oh, I don't support them anymore because of the Glazers. It's now where we need support more than ever. It's now where fans need to be more vocal than ever, more united than ever. None of this nonsense about I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this. Bloody come together and sort this club out, because it's a farce. I'm really disappointed that the organisations that can make change at this football club have given up. They're basically having chats with the Glazers about shares, and I just don't get it. There should be no conversation with them. There shouldn't be. We should not be negotiating with them. They are a poison to this football club. And if you think you want to sit down and negotiate with people who've not put us in a title race for a decade, who've not won any trophy in 5.5 years, but let's sit down because we might get 20% voting rights, which we won't get. It's a shambles. There's too much everybody's self-serving. Everybody's self-serving within that football club. It's all for the Glazers. It's about money. Most of that board aren't United fans, by the way. You look at head of departments, they're not United fans. They're in that job for the ego and the money. They're not there because they care about the football club. They're not United fans. They are board members earning a lot of money in a high-profile job that looks fantastically good on their CV. The only person I have respect for at the moment is Ralph Rangnick, because he's actually being honest, and that is why he will be out of a job. There is no way. I was speaking to somebody this morning and they said, absolutely no chance Rangnick's getting the manager's job. And to be honest, I think United will be trying to move him out completely, because they cannot deal with honesty. They can't deal with a manager that's come out and said Martial refused to play, and then Martial has to go public. They can't come out with a manager that says Lingard didn't want to play, and then Lingard's had to come out and be public. They can't deal with a manager who said throughout January, I haven't got the midfielder I need, and then the fans are like, get him a midfielder. They can't deal with that. They need an Ollie. They need somebody who goes, I'm happy with the squad that I've got. Your midfield's crap, Ollie. I'm happy with the lads, Scotty and Fredo and Matici and Pogbario, and it's just I'm sick of people turning on Rangnick already. I mean, I don't see the point in turning on Rangnick, Igor. Given the owners, the board and the hierarchy, our best chance of winning the title is scamming it like Leicester. I can't see development. We are not winning a title. We're not winning a title. I wish people would shut up about it. If you're going to get excited about fourth place, that's up for you. I think we can get fourth place. But the standards are on the floor. Like, it's not even worth getting angry about. I don't even understand fans who are getting angry. Like, it is what it is. Like, we're in big trouble. Like, the only players with identity on that pitch are Ronaldo, Varane, De Gea and Bruno, and Pogba when he played yesterday. The rest of them just aren't good enough, and they've got no idea. Like, who was wearing the captain's armband last night? Because 20 minutes to go, they score a stupid goal. We should have absolutely annihilated them. And yeah, we had a couple of chances, but it wasn't an onslaught. The crowd's never really up for it, in the sense that it's wave after wave after wave. The players just aren't up for it. Too many teams can come to Old Trafford and give us a game in that midfield. And, it happened yesterday. Middlesbrough in the second half actually had they didn't look in it in the first half. Mark, to be brutally honest, if we stay the same, we are City. And City dominate for the next since. Will they be as big as us? Connor, to be absolutely blunt, I don't see the Glazers going anywhere for at least a decade. And even then, why would they go? The value of the club is going up. The brand deals are pouring in. The TV deals in the Premier League are going up. The fact is, I had this conversation with somebody about probably 4 months ago. They were a journalist quite close to, I forget the club. I think it was I think it was Fulham actually. It was definitely one of the London clubs, and they were it would make sense if it was Fulham, and Fulham aren't even in the Premier League, so yeah, I think it was them. They said that all you got to do is get in the Premier League. If you can get in the Premier League and stay in the Premier League, and you're an owner of a Premier League club, unless you start spending silly money, you will make money, because the TV deals are just going to get bigger and bigger. And that means the pot for the clubs is going to get bigger and bigger, which means the value of the club will go bigger and bigger while it's in the Premier League. United's fan base is not really... And people say, oh, we're going to lose fans. Well, we will lose fans, because young fans will look at Man City and Liverpool and Chelsea, who are winning things and playing good football, and they'll go, I want a Chelsea shirt, Dad. I want a Liverpool shirt, Mum. That's what happens. This has happened for years. You know, when I was a kid, it used to happen. People wanted Liverpool kits and stuff like that because they were popular. But Man United have always had a pull. They've always had a pull, and we always will have a pull. And even if, I mean, look, people are still going to get United tops because United parents are going to buy them United tops. So there's always going to be a fan base, and it's always probably going to flatline, maybe even fall a bit. But it's massive. It's massive. You know, people say, oh, the Glazers will sell when people stop buying Man United shirts. That will take at least 10 years for that to trickle down. The damage they're doing isn't going to just hit with a share price drop. It's going to take ages, and they will just keep riding it and riding it. And this is what business people do, right? If you've owned something that's made money for you for a long time, you look at projections and you go, right, it's still bringing money in. All right, it's starting to drop a little bit, but the value of the club's still there. Ride it out for as long as you can, and then get rid at the last minute where you can get the maximum value. So this will plummet, and they will keep riding it. They're not going to sell. We're going to be stuck with them for a very, very long time. And anybody who thinks that we're going to win a title under the Glazers, you can see what they're trying to do. It's just pure manipulation and brand. That's all it is. Brand. And I think the brands are stupid. You know, I think brands are stupid to get anywhere near United at the moment, because all you're doing is you just want the eyes and ears of the fans. That's what you want. They just want the eyes and ears of the fan base. It's like having a database and saying, we can email shot 500,000 people for you tomorrow, but we want you to pay us to do it, which is what brands will do. But Man United can say, we've got millions of fans worldwide. We can give you their eyes off MUTV on shirts and training tops. It's not as a brand. Manchester United are going to be pouring money into the Glazers' pockets for many years yet. They're not bothered about on the pitch, and I would question whether the players are actually that bothered. They think they are, but I don't think they are. I think these players are like, well, you know what? I'm earning fantastic money. My brand profile is huge. Does it really matter if I lose? I mean, look. I don't blame Lingard, Martial or Rangnick. The board are meddling in issues, says Ellie. And increased competition for the top four like Newcastle means the Glazers' plan is not sustainable. They'll be out, but not before the club suffers first. Well, it'll be a long time before they go, Pratosaurus Rex. But you know what? I think, obviously, I mentioned this on the match reaction last night. In relation to Elanga, he missed a penalty. These things can happen. You can say he should have done better if you want. Personally, not massively bothered about who misses the penalty. The reality is Henderson should have saved the third penalty. It was a very, very easy save, and we'd be through. But you know, it's almost like it's almost like football for thick people when the person who misses the penalty gets the blame, because there's loads of reasons we lost that game, and the missed penalty, all right, technically that sends us out, but there's just so many things: missed chances, underperformers. You know, you compare Elanga to Rashford. Marcus Rashford's meant to be one of our best players, most high-profile players, and he puts in a performance like that. Elanga comes on. He's nowhere near as good as Rashford, in my opinion, but, you know, he actually had a better performance and did more than Rashford did. Then he misses the penalty. Elanga ends up getting ridiculous criticism, and Rashford's like there on Twitter saying, keep your head up. And it's like, that's my issue with Manchester United. I've got no issue with Elanga, and Rashford didn't play well, whatever. Hopefully he'll play well against Burnley. But it's this it's just this sympathy vote all the time. I'm talking about football terms, not talking about the vile racism, which is disgusting. But we've just gone out of the FA Cup, our only chance of a trophy, and it's like to Middlesbrough as well, and they're almost all hugging each other, going, "Oh, yeah, sympathy." This is why we fail. I think Roy Keane would have a word with Elanga in the dressing room. He certainly wouldn't go on Twitter. I mean, people are tweeting about Elanga, but they're probably sat next to him in the fucking dressing room. Get off your phones, lads. I mean, well, it's not even them, is it? It's their admin. It's always about their brand. Put a tweet out being sympathetic about that. Put a tweet out about effort. Put a tweet out about we go again. You're in the same fucking room as the people that are going to change that. If you don't want to tweet about missing opportunities to go into the next round of the FA Cup, which is our best chance of a trophy. If you don't want to tweet or post an Instagram post about going again, then bloody have a word with yourselves in the dressing room and perform better on the pitch. But no, it's always self-serving. I even said this before the Middlesbrough game. Everybody is out for themselves. How do I get more followers? How do I get more brand deals? And basically, it's point scoring. The only point scoring United players do is on their social media. They don't score points on the pitch because there are a bunch of individuals who... Look, if I could grab hold of, I don't know the backgrounds of most of these players in relation to how manipulated they are and how, motivated they've become. But they've lost motivation on the pitch. Be in control of your own destiny. I appreciate that you've got to have teams around you who can do bloody marketing deals and tweets for you. But actually, does that serve you any good as a footballer? I don't think it does. I think at the end of the day, footballers need to be in control of their own mind. Because on a football pitch, it's about decision making. It's about consistency. When you walk off the pitch and it's like, oh, I've got this for you, I've got that deal, I've sorted you this out for dinner tomorrow, I've got that. They're pampered, they're spoiled. Manchester United players are pampered and spoiled. They've got people doing this for them, that for them, we're promoting this, we're doing that. They're pampered and spoiled. And how do they perform on the pitch? Pampered and spoiled. If you are a victim of what you create. We've got a weak mentality side that when push comes to shove, how many penalty shootouts have we lost? How many semi-finals have we lost? We got to a final last year and we lost. They've got a pampered mentality because they are pampered off the pitch. What the fuck was going on with Lingard? I'll come back to that. We talk about pampered, like he wanted to leave to go to Newcastle. You force him to stay and then you give him 5 days off. I don't care what the reasons are. You've given him 5 days off to miss an FA Cup game. And now we're out. Franchise theme park United. If he'd have gone to Newcastle on Monday, would he have took 5 days off with Newcastle? No. So we've created that mood. I'm not specifically popping at Lingard here, but what I'm saying is Lingard didn't play last night because of Manchester United. Because of people like Murtaugh and Woodward and Arnold and the Glazers. He didn't play last night because of them. Because if we'd let him go on Monday, there's no way he would have took 5 days off in his first 5 days for Newcastle because he would have been happy. We've made him unhappy. We've told him to take a few days off. Ralph Rangnick, yesterday, he's got 2 goalkeepers on the bench. Now, we should be beating Middlesbrough, but when he looks at the bench, what has he got, really? Juan Mata was on the fucking pitch. I mean, that just says it all for me. As we've lost numerous shootouts, the players could be practicing penalties rather than posting for social media. It's nothing to do with practice, Marmaduke. They've just got weak mentality. I wonder if Rangnick would walk away if he keeps being undermined to Scott. Well, why should he? I'd get the paycheck. He'll have signed a contract. Why should he walk away? I feel like I'm on Sesame Street with the board of Muppets and not in an entertaining way. Only interests are their pockets and stocks, as Apollo. Well, look at it like this, right? Ralph Rangnick from the West Ham game to the Middlesbrough game. Now, considering Mata took a good penalty. I tell you what, should we start fucking picking Juan Mata now? I mean, what sort of prats have we got in the chat? Mata was good, Mark. Mata scored a good penalty. If you think that's the future, let's get in a relegation battle. He's done. I love Juan Mata. We've never used him properly. He's done. He's been done for 4 years. He's finished. Have you seen him running around? He's absolutely fine when he's got the ball to feet or the ball's in the air. He's got a magnet touch. He's like a retired footballer playing Masters football. They don't lose the touch. They don't lose the ability to shoot and pass. But he can't run around the pitch, lads and ladies. He can't do it. He cannot do it. He's been done for 4 years. Ben Chilwell retired him at Old Trafford when he was playing at Leicester 4 years ago. If you think Mata's the future, you are stupid. Absolutely stupid. If that's... you're proving my point. West Ham, he's got Martial, he's got Cavani, he's got Donny, he's got Lingard, and he's got Greenwood. So he's got 5 attacking options. They're all not there last night. Cavani, because he's been given time off, probably wouldn't have played anyway, to be fair. Martial's gone on loan, doesn't want to be here. Donny's gone on loan, doesn't want to be here. Greenwood, well, we know what's happened to him. And Lingard's been given time off. 5 attacking options gone from one game to another. Now, we should beat Middlesbrough, but I'm talking about the manager. They've not given him any players in the transfer window. They've taken 3 away One's gone away for obviously legal issues, and 2 of them are having an extended break. You can't run, and he's not making the decisions. He's like a milk monitor, Rangnick. He's a puppet. It's not his fault, but he is a puppet. He's another puppet. The last 9 years, all we've seen is good managers come into this football club and be undermined by this board. I cannot believe that the manager of Manchester United last night is saying, I wouldn't have given Lingard the time off, would I? It's stupid. And then we hear Murtagh did it. Overruled, Ralph. Overruled. And that's basically it. I'm so fed up of this football club and the way it's run. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. The players, I don't even like the players. I don't. I want them to do well on the pitch, but I don't like them because collectively you've destroyed this football club with your weak mentality and your big egos, and also they're victims of what the board have created as well. As I said before, if you're coming to Manchester United, you're not coming to win trophies. I guarantee they're talking about how big your social media is going to be, how big your brand exposure is going to be. That's Manchester United's selling point, and we've clearly recruited the right players for that, because we haven't recruited the right mentality of footballer. We haven't. We've recruited a bunch of egotistical, overinflated players. They're not good enough. They're not. Simple as that. Hope you and the family are good. Thanks for everything you do. Thanks for the good streams and the solid commitment day in, day out, says Alex. I just, I know Ted's joking about Fellaini. I mean, you know what? I pity some of our fans on what they think's good enough for this football club. Fellaini, absolute bag of shit. Well, at least he ran around a lot and scored some good headers. Shit player. Should never have been bought in the first place. I'm not having the standards of this football club lowered because somebody will run around a little bit more. We've been buying shit for 10 years. And we've been buying shit for 10 years because we're run by incompetent people. And it's not going to get any better. And I think finally, a lot of our fan base are waking up to the last 3 years was not a cultural reset. It was a cover-up. That's the only thing it was, beginning with C. It was a cover-up. The incompetence that was going on for 3 years is now coming home to roost. And it will take... Look at Newcastle, right? Newcastle are a prime example. They've got the right owners with loads of money who are focused on being successful on the pitch. Will Newcastle win the title next year? No. Will they win it next year, the year after that? I don't think so. I don't think Newcastle will win a Premier League for maybe 3, 4, 5 years. But they will. They will do, because they've got the right owners with the right attitude in relation to ambition. Whatever about the owners morally, I get that. We've been destroying this football club. Our board has been destroying this football club for nearly 10 years. And the last 3 years has been the worst of the lot, because they pretended it was a cultural reset and actually it was an erosion of, everything that we could be. It will take, even if we had the right owners now, even if the right owner came in now, like at Newcastle, and cleared house and said, look, I'll take the hit. You're out, you're out, you're out, you're out. 5 years before we win a title, even if we hit the reset now. And we're not going to hit the reset. I predict another 10 years without a title without United. I do. I think it's difficult to predict that, but I do. I predict another 10 years without a title, and maybe longer. I just don't see... There's too many teams that are run well, and football doesn't change really in a year. As somebody said before, Leicester can pop up and win a title, but I don't know whether that's possible anymore. You can see Man City are going nowhere. You can see Liverpool have stabilised and are going to be competitive at least for the next 3 or 4 years. You can see Chelsea will always be competitive because Abramovich will just sack a manager and rebuild. You've then got Newcastle coming up. That's 4. You've then got Conte at Spurs, which is a bit unknown. That's a threat. You've then got Newcastle we've said. You've then got teams like Villa and Everton and Leicester, who have got wealthy owners and could, move up. So even if we're just nowhere near, and we're moving further away. The future is not bright at Manchester United, I'm afraid. It really isn't. And, sometimes when somebody says that looks like shit on the floor, don't taste it. It's not chocolate. It is shit. And that's what I look at United now. It really is that shit. And I know that's very blunt, but, if it looks like shit, it smells like shit, and God, don't taste it, because it is shit. That's what we are. I think for a long time we hoped it wasn't that, but we actually are. You look at the longevity of the football club, you look at the future of the football club. Tell me a player in that, well, you need 5 or 6, but tell me players in that club that you can definitely say are going to be players that are going to be, top 5 players in the Premier League for the next 5 years. And you can't say it with any certainty. Ronaldo won't be, because he won't be here in 5 years. Varane, for me, is superb. I'll give you Varane, and De Gea is a good goalkeeper, but they're not in the right areas to win games, are they? Look, maybe Jadon Sancho could be. Maybe he could be. It's a big if, but maybe he could be. I don't think Bruno will be here in 5 years. And that's the problem. The players that we're saying might be there, I don't think they'll be here. Why would they be here? Why would they be at a club that's clearly not going to win anything? If I'm the agent of a Bruno Fernandes or a Marcus Rashford or a Jadon Sancho or a Rafael Varane, I'm actually having a conversation going, how happy are you here? Because I can get you a new contract, but they ain't winning anything. They're not winning anything. They're not going to win anything major. Like, do you want to go to a club that's going to win anything because you're good enough? And that's the next stage we're going to have. Obviously, we know Pogba's probably going to go in the summer. Maybe Ronaldo will go in the summer. Ronaldo's in a conversation in himself. I thought Ronaldo was really poor last night. Happy birthday to Ronaldo, one of the greatest that's ever played the game. But he was poor last night. He was poor. But I almost feel that last night isn't a surprise. It's a disappointment. But it really symbolises what we are. Like, we've lost Carabao Cup games on penalties to Derby. We've lost away to Huddersfield, we've lost to Newcastle. We've had these results, and we're going to keep having them. There'll be another Middlesbrough. There was a Sheffield United last year. There'll be another one. There'll be probably 3 or 4 of them this season. They're going to keep happening because that's the level that we're at. We think we're Manchester United because it says Manchester United on the shirt, but we're not. It's a fraud, basically. It is. Like, the players wearing the shirt aren't good enough. The people running the club are not United people. It's just one big scam, essentially. It is. It is a scam, isn't it? This is not Manchester United. When you ask people what Manchester United is, even the most fiercest rival would say, well, it's one of the biggest clubs in the world, isn't it? Manchester United, you think about winning things and competing for things and entertaining football. That's what Manchester United is. Are we that? No. United problem is players and mentality. LFC players are also pampered, but recruitment is right. No players, agents like Mourinho, Raiola involved, says Himan. And thinking about the stages of grief, I'm at acceptance now. I'm just going to enjoy the odd good result and not expect too much. Better for your head, says Adam. I think the frustrating thing that people have is that you're right, that acceptance has clicked in about what we are. It's the fact that nobody can do anything about it. And that's the thing. Nobody can do anything about it because nobody wants to do anything about it. I do. I'm sure you do. But, what can we do? The Glazers know it as well. The best opportunity was after the Super League. And unfortunately, it fell apart because Joel Glazer said, I'll do a Zoom call. And that was it. It was over. A game was cancelled. The fan base was united. People who can't stand each other were actually talking to each other. And Joel Glazer said, I'll do a Zoom call and you can have some shares. And that was the end of that. That was the end of that. You know what? I'll go back to what I said before. There should not be any conversation with United. Nobody should be talking to them because then they'll shit themselves. The trouble is, they're having chats with fan groups going, oh, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. Can we have this? Can we have that? And it shouldn't be happening. The bottom line should be the debt, the money they're taking out of the club, the undermining of the manager constantly, the fact that we're 5.5 years now without a trophy, 10 years without a title race. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. But it's become acceptable. And, as fans, we've got to collectively take responsibility that we have let the standards of this football club drop. And all those generations of fans who've gone before us would be disgusted by what we've done. We've dropped the ball. As a football club and as a fan base, we have dropped the ball. This football club matters a lot to a lot of people over the years. Many of them are no longer with us. We've dropped the ball. We've let our football club drop to a level that it never should have done. And as I said, I thought after the Super League debacle, I'd never seen anything like that before, and I was actually thinking, you know, this could be the beginning of the end of this ownership that's destroying us. And now, a year later, it's not. And the odd thing is, I think we're in the worst position we've ever been under the Glazers. I think we're in a worse position now than we were after the Super League. I mean, the Super League got stopped by football. There was outrage about the Super League, but it was stopped. It was never going to happen. This is a very unique United problem. We are going nowhere fast. We are nowhere near trophies. We are an absolute joke from top to bottom. Our manager is publicly being undermined. I mean, imagine how many times Ollie was actually undermined, because, you know, Ollie probably said, you know, can I have can I put some petrol in my car? No. Okay. You know, Ollie, pick this player. I just think, you know, even Dean Henderson last night shouldn't have started. We didn't play him in the last round. And then we pick him in. I mean, I just don't get what the big idea is about Dean Henderson, to be honest with you. I think he's a decent keeper, but, you know, I'm not saying De Gea would have won the penalties, but I just suspect now everything about United. And I think Henderson's a good example, and I think Lingard would have been a good example as well. I think Murtaugh's picking the team. I think Murtaugh is involved in picking the team. If he's telling people to take time off and the manager doesn't want it to happen, I think Murtaugh's involved in picking the team. Tell me different. Like, I can suspect what I like. You know, Rangnick wants a midfielder, he doesn't get it. Rangnick wants to sell Lingard, it's not allowed to happen, even though Lingard wants it to happen. Rangnick wants Lingard part of the squad, Lingard's off for a few days, and Murtaugh's done it without telling Rangnick. It's like, I don't trust that club. I think it's so manipulative and brand specific that I wouldn't be surprised if we are picking players because of brands. I mean, realistically, let's see what he does against Burnley on Tuesday, but certain people should be dropped again. Rashford shouldn't start. You could argue that Ronaldo shouldn't start. Like, there's you know, you could argue that Bruno shouldn't start. Like, there's big decisions to make, but they'll all start. You know, Lingard will probably be on the bench and everything's fine. I mean, to be honest, Martial got booed. I've said this all week. Martial got booed when he came on at Old Trafford. I think what's gone on with Lingard is way worse. Way worse. And, it'll come out that, you know, my thing with Lingard is, if he'd have gone to Newcastle, there's no way he would have missed the first 5 days training, would he? And yet, at United he does, because he doesn't want to be here, and he shouldn't be here. And Rangnick didn't want him to be here either. The club have just created a mess. They're constantly undermining the manager, and it's only Rangnick's honesty that is revealing the true nature of that football club's underminement of a manager. And we know it's happened. Van Gaal said it happened. Mourinho wanted signings and they wouldn't buy players for him. The only reason we thought it had stopped is because Ollie just protected them. He was that, protector. The go shouldn't have counted. However, game should have been out of sight. But Daniel, I've got no interest in that goal being ruled out. I mean, if I was watching Chelsea Plymouth at lunchtime, and Plymouth scored a goal like that, as much as I'd want it to be scored, I'd say Chelsea had been robbed there. But we were robbed. It was definitely a handball, and Anthony Taylor is without doubt one of the worst referees in the game. But you know what I feel like this morning? It's almost like you're not always going to be right in life, but you have experience, you have opinion, and a lot of the time people's opinions do end up being right. And this morning I just was like, well, Anthony Taylor's a crap referee and we're out because of that, really. But ultimately we're also out because, more importantly, we're out because the club's run badly. We should have finished chances. The players just not focused, not playing as a team. That you know what? United of old, or a Liverpool team, or a Man City now, if Middlesbrough scored that goal, how many minutes were left in the game? Let's say 20. There might have been more. Do you think Man City and Liverpool would have allowed that game to go to extra time? They would have absolutely annihilated them. They would have gone for them. They would have used it as and this next couple of sentences symbolises United's problem. That Middlesbrough goal never should have been a goal. The referee's looking straight at it. It's not accidental. It's not a natural arm movement when your arm's out, stretched out like that. It never should have been a goal. But fair play to Middlesbrough. They got away with it. They got a goal. It's 1-1. There's 20 minutes to go. What do United do? Just stutter through the game to penalties and go out. You know what a Liverpool would do? They would be enraged. The players would react, and it would be wave after wave after wave after wave until they get that goal and go through in 90 minutes. And that to me was why I'm not really going to talk about the goal, because that goal is not a goal in any game. Doesn't matter whether it happens against United or Liverpool, it's not a goal. Anybody with a brain would look at that and go, you've always got to think, what if that happens against my team? And it did happen against us, and it wasn't a goal. But I would say if that happened against Liverpool in a cup game, I would say that's not a goal. So it's not a goal, but there's plenty of time to go and win the game. United constantly for the last 8 years, whenever anything goes against them, the mentality just drops, because we haven't got enough leaders in that team. Too many selfish players, too many self-focused players, no respect. Yeah. Could you also discuss the experience in Old Trafford with no Wi-Fi, no food? Will the next gen be associated with Manchester United as the Red Salmon? George, thank you for the super chat. We can't even score from a corner, says George. Yeah. This group of players continue to embrace the club. Bringing in few players isn't going to solve anything. Player recruitment since Ferguson has left has been a disaster. Where do we go from here, says Joseph? You know what, Joseph? I don't want to ruin people's Saturday, but where we go from here is our ceiling is winning an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup. In the next 5 years, that's basically all we can hope for. We're not going to win a Premier League, and we're not going to win a Champions League, and it's not going to happen in the next 5 years. It's just not. We've bought one of the world's best strikers, and we've turned him in to a Portuguese. I'm trying to think of somebody. Portuguese Calvert-Lewin. That's what Ronaldo's turned into. Nothing wrong with Calvert-Lewin. He's okay, but Ronaldo doesn't look like Ronaldo. Been dragged down to the level of this knot. I think Ronaldo, professionally as a footballer, is probably depressed. I think that Ronaldo is probably depressed. Not as a personality, but his football looks depressed. And that what I mean is, like, a footballer's personality off the pitch is not necessarily the same as their personality on the pitch. You can be going through a horrible time, but having a great time at home and with your mates. So I think Ronaldo as a footballer looks depressed. I think he's made the biggest mistake of his career. Which sounds ridiculous when you've got Sir Alex Ferguson on the phone telling him to come back to Man United. But it was a bad move for him. I feel sorry for Ronaldo, which is ridiculous for one of the richest and greatest footballers who's ever been, who apparently ain't a bad-looking bloke. But professionally, at the end of your career, you don't want to be coming into that. And basically, Ronaldo's like us. He's come back to Man United because it's a club that he loves, that means so much to him, with a great fan base and a great history. It's a dream move to come back to United. But what he's done is he's come back and not known the full extent of the problem at the club. And now it's like, what the fuck have I done? I love Man United. I love the fan base. But that should have been left on my Wikipedia page to look at when I retired. I should never have come back. He should never have come back. He shouldn't have come back. And look, Ronaldo's got this amazing ability to prove doubters wrong. And I would never write him off. But he's one man in a team that ain't a team, that hasn't got good enough players. Realistically, who do you think we are? This is a question. Who do you think we are as a club? If I said, take the kit off, put some random kit on with no badge on, no sponsor on, they're just wearing a random kit, and Man United's not on it, and you don't know that this is Man United, who you watched us play over the last 3 months, who would you say we are in relation to Premier League or the Championship? And I would say United would be definitely mid-table. So, it's hard to say who would be, because I can't even say Southampton or Brighton, because I think they play better football, but definitely a mid-table club. We're a mid-table, that I'm not being over dramatic. If I didn't know that was Manchester United, I would say we're a mid-table club with Cristiano Ronaldo up front. We're not actually, and that's the scary thing. We are what we are. We're a scam. We're a wolf in sheep's clothing. Really, we are dangerous. What we are, in a bad way. We are. They put the Man United top on. They say they're Manchester United, but they're not. They're not. They're nowhere near good enough. Nowhere near good enough. I wouldn't say we're Villa. We're not on the way up. Crystal Palace maybe, says Mohammed, but that's the problem we've got. And when you look at us long term, you can't see it getting any better, because what needs to happen is you need a manager like a Rangnick who's listened to and not undermined. You need the ability to sell about 7 or 8 first team players, and the ability to bring in 7 or 8 first team players, and then do it again the following summer. You need to get rid of about 12 players, and they're not, I'm not talking about the Matters and the Matages, they're obvious. You need to get rid of players that you spent tens of £1 million on. You need to get rid of players that you're paying 200 grand a week. not going to happen. There's players at that club just who aren't good enough, but they're not going anywhere for 3 or 4 years. The long-term future of that club is screwed. Look, you know, I was saying it last night, so I can't hide away from it. And I suppose as captain, it's symbolic. I said about Harry Maguire last night, he's not a bad centre-back. I don't think he's like Titus Bramble or anything like that. I don't think he's useless. I just think he's an overpaid, overpriced Michael Keane, who funnily enough used to be at the club. Everton centre-back. I don't think there's a world of difference between Harry Maguire and Michael Keane. I think Harry Maguire's better, but not massively better. And that's the problem. He's the captain of the club. We cost £80 million. He's on 200 grand a week. And bless him, you know what? I know he tries. But he's not like Rashford. I think Rashford's a good player playing badly. I don't think Maguire's got levels. Like Varane is on a different level. Van Dijk is on a different level. Diaz is on a different level. His best is, you know, is Ben White any worse than Harry Maguire? I don't think he is. And that's the problem. We're stuck with a player that actually, if you want to win things, probably can't win things. And he's the captain. And there's a few other players in the team like that. And we can all name them that, look, their effort is fine. Their ability is fine, but you don't win titles with fine. You play at Everton if you're fine. You don't play at Manchester United if you're fine. And that's it. We're locked in. We're locked fine. We're locked fine. We're locked in with fine players, and they're going to be here for years and years and years, like the Glazers. And I think that's why this morning many of us are waking up and going, it's that acceptance. It's that acceptance stage of grief, isn't it? The anger, the frustration is now subsiding to the fact that this is what we are. You know, this is going to keep happening. And I said it last night as well. How many games do we have where, you know, Maguire might play really well against Burnley because it's his sort of game. In fact, I think Maguire will have a good game on Tuesday because there'll be a lot of high balls and everyone will go, my captain, Harry Beckenbauer. And this is where the fans are at fault as well, because you get one good performance in 10 from a McTominay or a Fred or a Harry Maguire and people go, oh, they're back. But this is... Well, you may as well wear a Glazer fan club T-shirt because that's what they want, and the social posts go out, and they get their social posts out. You know, it's the cycle. It's always the same. These players that aren't good enough, who consistently aren't good enough, they'll have one good game. United will put the posts out and write an article about them. They'll put posts out going winning team, and everyone will go, oh yeah, I love them. Yeah, haters sit down, and then the next 5 games they'll be shit again. And it's basically United, isn't it? The inconsistency will get one good result and then the rest of them will be shite. It is what it is. It's the standards. It's where we're at. And there's nothing we can do about it because there's no plan in place to do anything about it. And the Glazers don't want to do anything about it. And the board just want to keep making money for the Glazers. And the manager's undermined. I mean, how can a manager be successful when they're not being listened to and they've got people going behind their back? We started with that lesson and we'll end with that lesson. How can we be successful when the manager is being undermined? And you know what? Lingard sat there this week. He's gone public on Rangnick saying Rangnick's not telling the truth, basically. Rangnick has said I am. And then we found out that Murtaugh's gone behind Rangnick's back and given Lingard the time off. Who's empowered in that situation? The player who's forcing a move, who's now been backed by the director of football, who's gone behind the manager's back. And that player's going to come back training this week and chat with all the other lads who are going to be like, well, yeah, you made him look a right twat, haven't you? Because he has. Manager's undermined. His position, you know, realistically, if we hadn't sacked another manager 2 months ago, Rangnick's position is just, it's untenable. Doesn't mean we won't get fourth, but it's untenable. He's been undermined massively, publicly, so many times. He's out, you know, as the thumbnail says, he's out of control. He's got no control. And that's on the board. Sickening. Absolutely sickening. Anyway, look, thanks everyone for watching. If you're like me, I'm going to probably play a bit of Foot Draft on Twitch this afternoon, about 3 o'clock, and then we'll be back with an 8 o'clock show. Need to just clear the head and get away from it for a bit because it's just this. Get used to it. Get used to it. I think it's going to get worse. I think we're in the worst position we've been in under the Glazers since Sir Alex retired. I've been saying it for a long time, and I expect it to get worse. I think there might be some short-term wins. I think we might still get 4th place. We won't win the Champions League. And I think next season we're in for a world of pain. And I think this summer, not just Pogba's going to go. I think we're going to lose another big player. I really do. As for Declan Rice, Simon Stone said it's going to be a very difficult transfer. He won't come anywhere near us. I mean, this Declan Rice is just Gareth Bale again. This is like, we've lost. Let's get linked. We've had a shit transfer window. We've undermined our manager. We've got a crap squad. Let's link ourselves to Declan Rice for some positivity. We ain't going to get Declan Rice. Declan Rice would be an absolute prat to join this football club, especially when Chelsea want him. Be an idiot. It won't happen. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon. Smash a like on the video and we'll be back with the 8 o'clock show unless something happens in between. Take care, everyone. Look after yourselves and remember, don't let Manchester United Football Club drag you down too much, because at the end of the day, we're in the hands of people who just want to make money out of this club. They're not interested in winning trophies. Don't let them ruin your day. Thanks for watching. Speak to you later.